Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janet and welcome to the Called to Create podcast. I am here to help you ladies unlock your creative potential and use your God-given gifts and start a business. Because you were called to create and you have so much to share, and the world needs your creative gifts to be shared right now, ladies. Let's do this. And I want to remind you that I have a special offer where you can sign up for a 45-minute coaching session with me to help you get started with your very own creative business. Or if there's something else that you need help with, I can do that too. And it's a special price of $47 from now until November 16th, 2020. So if you're ready and you want me to help you start, you can send me an email at aloha@janetjohnston.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And I'm so happy that I can come back and share more things that I want to share with you. There's like books and books of things I want to share. I've been around for a really long time, so I have a lot to share. But I'm here because I just love people. Especially I love talking to women because I feel like women have so much that they've dealt with and that they have to deal with now, and all the experiences that women have gone through. And I think women have such fascinating life experiences, and especially childhood. We all have like interesting childhoods, even if you think you don't, but you do. And my favorite thing is to always find out like where people came from, where they grew up, and what their childhood was like, and how many siblings they had, all that kind of stuff. Because I find that I can learn so much from other people's experiences. And that's the same thing that I'm trying to do for you, is share all the experiences. Well, not all, but we would be here like for the next 30 years. I want to be able to share the experiences that I've had, both good and bad, things that worked, things that didn't work, the dumb things I've done. I've done a lot of dumb things. I was a really rebellious teenager. So, I found out really like the hard way what works and what doesn't work. And it was pretty painful, when you're rebellious and you do everything that your mom tells you not to do. And it's very painful when you suffer the consequences. So I had to apologize to my mom when I got into my 20s and I had my own family. I realized like, oh my gosh, I must have tortured my mom. But that's life, right? We all kind of have our own experiences and things that we do. Good thing we can say sorry. Just like if you have your own kids and they make you crazy or do things that aren't right, you look forward to the day that they can say sorry if they cause you pain. I just thought I would kind of share that and throw that in just to let you know that I have a lot of things I've done that are good and bad, and I think that because our lives are so different that we can learn from each other. And today I wanted to talk about something that I thought about. Do you stick to what you stand for? Now, I think this question kind of starts from when you're really young. There's things that you like and you don't like. And I find it interesting because I have grandchildren. I have 6 now. And as I watch them, and especially now that they're getting older, from when they were born till now, like my oldest grandchild is 11. And so he's very interesting, but I watch from the time these babies were born till now, I really have witnessed like the things that they like and they don't like, and the things that they stand for. And it's interesting that somebody that young in childhood can actually figure out what they stand for. And of course, there's many reasons, right, why a child would stand for something or figure out so basically they're really learning who they are, and they're learning who their parents want them to be, whether it's good or bad, right? It's all subjective, right? Every family is different. But I find that as I watch these young people, I realize like a lot of what we stand for now as adults kind of started from when we were young. And that's what I wanted to get you to think about. Like, do you stick to what you stand for? For example, I want to share something. For me, one of the things that is major, like, there's no, like, it's a hard rule. Like I say, it's a hard rule that I don't ever cross. I don't break that rule. I don't cross the line now that I'm older, but it's swearing. And, it's funny because my mom, so I want to share the experience when we were growing up, my mom never swore. She never even said shut up. She didn't say that word until like I was in my 20s. And me and my siblings, we kind of looked at each other and laughed like, did mom really say that? Does she even know what that word means? Because she's never ever swore. She's never said a swear word. And if she did, she never ever said it in front of me or my siblings or our family. And she would always tell us that, why would you swear, use the worst words in the dictionary when there's hundreds and thousands of words, better words that you can choose in the dictionary? Why would you choose the worst ones? And so she would tell us stuff like that. And, a little bit, when we were I was a teenager, I tried swearing, but it just kind of like it didn't feel right and sound right coming out of my mouth. I felt like that's just not who I am. And everybody has a right to be who they are. And if they choose to swear, that's your own personal, your life, right? You can do what you want. But I'm just saying for me, that's one thing that I stick to. I do not, like, I think the last time I ever swore out loud was many years ago, maybe when I was fighting with my husband or something. But in general, like, I don't. It's one of those things that's not even in my consciousness to think about swearing. So another thing that I stand for and that I stick to is about not being nasty to people. And because I love people so much and I love talking to people and I just love being around people. So I really don't like when people are nasty, whether it's how you talk to somebody, if you talk to them nasty or just really mean, or how you treat people. Like, I have a really hard time when I'm in the store, well, not now, but before, I was out in public and these parents are like beating their kids in public, and it would just make something inside of me just feel so sick. You run the risk of saying something, right? Like, especially if it's a father, if he's gonna come after you, right? So you run that risk. Like, you can't say anything. Like, the only thing you could do probably is call the police, right? That's one thing I stand for, is not being nasty to people. Because I always come from the perspective, which again, my mom taught me. So again, I have to thank my mom, is that you treat people like how you want to be treated. And it's so important. And it's one of those things that I don't think many people think about when they're treating people or interacting with people. Like, I don't think they realize how important it is on how you treat someone. Because I wouldn't want somebody to be nasty to me or talk to me nasty or be rude. And of course, we don't live in a perfect world. So of course it happens, here and there, and it's still probably going to happen. But I very rarely experience people in public being nasty, because I try to make it a point to smile at people. And that's easy for me. I know that's not easy for everyone, but because I love people, it's easy for me to smile at everyone. So it's very rare that people are nasty to me. And that's, I think, comes out in how I look at people. And, I don't look at people like they're stupid, or if they're doing something stupid, I think I have more of a confused look on my face. Like, what? What are they doing? More than, that look of like, you're really stupid. So because I stick to what I stand for, it comes out in everything that I say and everything that I do. Now, I'm not perfect. Like, I fight with my family all the time, but I may get grouchy or whatever. But for the most part, I try not to talk nasty to people or treat them nasty. And I want you to be able to figure out today, what is it that you stand for that's a hard rule that you never ever break? And are you sticking to that, or is something happening where you're kind of crossing your own line? Because usually what you stand for is rooted deep down in your heart and your mind, and it's connected. And it's one of those things that it's hard to break that connection. Something has to happen in order for that to break that connection. So think about that, because how you live your life is really important. You have to be able to go to sleep at night, with a clear conscience, right? You're living an honest life, and you're sticking to your values, and you're sticking to what you believe in. And, if you were never taught that, then I want to teach that to you today. Parents aren't perfect. They're not going to teach us everything we need to know, unfortunately. I wish that were possible. I wish I could have taught my kids everything they needed to know, but life's not like that. But I'm here to help you if you've never ever thought about sticking to what you stand for, and to be able to make that heart and mind connection. And you'll find that when you do stick to what you stand for, you feel a lot better about yourself, because you're being integrity with yourself. And it's so easy to get off of having that integrity with yourself with other things too. Like sometimes if you allow one thing to cross the line, then it's easier to let everything else cross the line in your life. And I have other things that I've kind of let cross the line that now, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like, oh, okay, this is not working. I need to like get back to what I stand for and what I believe in. And there's more things too that I stand for, and I stick to it. But those are like the two main things that are at the very top of my list. And of course, it's because how I was raised, and because of the fact that I love people, and I think everyone has value. And I want to share that with you today, that you have value. And if you don't think so, then please contact me. You need to talk to me, because I want you to know that you have value. Think about it and write it all out. I hope every morning you're writing out what's going on in your head and writing out your dreams on a notebook of some kind. Write it out, because your dreams matter and you matter. Take this into consideration today. If you want to share something personal with me, send it to me in a direct message, a DM. Do it. Stick to what you stand for. You'll start to feel better about yourself if you're struggling right now. And please share this podcast with anyone who you know would get great value out of listening to it. Or if you know anyone that wants to start a creative business, please send this podcast their way. I would really appreciate that. And I want to invite you to come over and join my Call to Create podcast community in Facebook. And that's where you can connect with other listeners of the show, and I can answer your questions. You can, it's going to be a place for you where you can learn and grow and work together with other wonderful women. And I really want you to be there. Okay, I'm looking forward to meeting you. So go over to bit.ly/Call to Create podcast. I'm so looking forward to it. And I want to ask you a favor. If you can please take a minute to rate and review this podcast. And if you're listening to this podcast in the Apple Podcast app, you can rate and review this show right there at the bottom. So as soon as you open my show, you can just scroll down all the way to the bottom and you can rate and review it right there, because reviews are so important and they tell potential listeners and Apple that this show is worth listening to. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And have a great day, ladies. Take care of yourself. Aloha.